What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Matt Greer Music Channel. I am your host, Matt, and today we are going to overview the process I went through to make a beat that ultimately got constructed on this, the SP-404sx, but there were a lot of guest stars, I guess we'll say, along the way. So stick around, let's get into it. Okay, so first thing I did was I got this, my little PO-33 KO. Now, I love this little sampler. Not only is it my favorite pocket operator that they've ever come out with, but it's probably responsible for a whole new workflow for me in my studio. And it's made me sort of a sampler addict. Anyway, I started with this, though. I started to go online. I went to samplefocus.com, and I found unusual textures for this because I wanted to make this sort of like lo-fi, gritty, sort of looping, abstract rhythm that I wanted to base everything on. So I went on to samplefocus.com. I found sort of some strange little riffs, some percussive sounds, and I pitched everything differently, and I applied a bunch of filter, and I started with high tempos and I switched it down to low tempos, and I did a lot of things to this to turn it into an unusual sound. Anyway, so I started to make a 4-bar loop on this that would be the basis of my entire track. After I got that going, I sampled it into my SP-404sx, and that's where I started to resample this, kind of bring out more of that grittiness, more of that strange sound. I put a bunch of the effects on the SP-404 onto it, and I started to create that into sort of a rhythmic bed of tone that I would build on and add to and become a more detailed track. So, first step, getting this sampled into the SP-404sx. Now, after I got my KO sampled into the SP-404, I wanted like a stronger backbeat to take that kind of bass line rhythm that I had going and add to it to give it some bounce and some oomph. So I broke out the OPZ. If you watch my channel at all, you know it's one of my favorite pieces of gear. And I built into it just sort of a basic boom bap kind of beat. And I tweaked the sounds, I added some filter, I sort of tried to get it to go more into the lo-fi hip-hop realm of things, again to complement that sort of abstract bed of rhythm that I had already created. And after I was settled with the beat on here, I matched it to the same tempo, and then I sampled this beat into the SP-404sx as well. So now I had basically two separate percussive rhythms in the SP-404. Now, I had a good basis to my track. I liked the bed of rhythm. I liked my boom bap beat that I got off the OPZ. I wanted some vibes on there, so I busted out my Epiphone guitar. Shout out to my buddy who sold me this for an excellent price. I absolutely love this guitar. It has a wonderful tone and it's just a joy to play. And I mated that with, bear with me here. I mated that with the Eventive Space. Now literally everything sounds great through this pedal, but you may be surprised to know that it's good for guitars too. So I put the guitar through this, again sampled what I was playing through this pedal into the SP-404sx. Now I had basically 2 different kinds of drums. I had a bed of sound. I had some leads from the guitar. All I really needed anymore after that was a bass line, and that should about put the whole thing together. So for bass, I could literally use anything. I've got Moog synthesizers, I've got Korg synthesizers, I've got the ARP Odyssey, I've got the Bass Station 2. But what I ended up using, just because I kind of wanted to stick to small, easy, compact things, was the Elektron Model Cycles. It is an FM synthesizer, and if you're familiar with FM at all, you probably know that it's great for bass. I created a bass patch on this, I set it to the same tempo, and I sampled that into the SP-404sx. So now I had a bass line, and I needed some type of different lead because I wanted sort of like a bridge slash verse or a verse slash chorus arrangement to the beat. I basically wanted it to change a little with musical elements. So I set up sort of a arpeggiated, it's not a real arpeggio because I played it live, but it sounds like an arpeggiator. But I set up like a live sort of organ sound on this same synthesizer, and I sampled that into the SP-404sx. So now I had basically an entire kit. I had 2 different kind of rhythm parts. I had 2 different drum beats. I had a bass line. I had leads and chords from my guitar, and I had an alternating lead, a synth patch from the Model Cycles. So once I've got the whole kit into my SP-404sx, then it's just a matter of constructing that into a beat, and I used the pattern sequencer to put that together. So now that you know what went into the thing, let's hear the whole beat together. Oh yeah, last thing I forgot to mention. When I recorded the output of this, I ran it through this SP-606, and I used the 2 master effects on that, as well as the mastering dual band compressor. So it kind of glued the whole thing together, gave it a little bit of polish before recording it.